Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. So, yes, last night we did a stream about performance. So, Elder Scrolls is having a hard time on console. A lot of players are saying it's better on the PS5 or the new Xbox series, but let's take a look at the price points here, right? Let's take a look at price points. If you get a bundle pack, it's about $1,000 for an Xbox. But you're looking at $765 on eBay for some of these, and that's questionable, whatever, right? So, it's very, very, Amazon. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what Walmart's pricing it at. 1,500 for the Halo Infinite. Now, 64 gigabyte, 8 gig, controller. Walmart almost $1,000, $950. Add taxes, whatever. 1,200 for the Ultimate Pack here, so it's cheaper than CNET. Well, if we take a look at the PS5, right? Walmart's selling a PS5 for $1,600. Let's repeat this. $1,600. PC gaming rigs start off at $700. I can get a Cyber Power for 16. Right? Basically, it comes down to this. The PC you can upgrade. You can do a lot with. There's more online titles on PC. But the biggest thing about it is, for Elder Scrolls, performance is currently better on PC. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh my God. 7,000. But you can start off with a gaming rig for about $700 to $1,500. That's my point. Like, we've got a huge discrepancy. Huge discrepancy in pricing. So let me go ahead and remove this. But yeah, I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. That's just raised. Like, I have all three. I have Xbox, I have a PlayStation, I have PS4, I have an Xbox One, and I have a PC. Now, obviously, my PC has a little bit more money into it. I gotta switch up my fan. I gotta remember to do that this weekend or today or tomorrow or whatever. But the biggest thing about it is, I was like, it's not worth it. It's actually not worth. I wanted to get a new PS. Whatever. And then I'm looking at the price and I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not. That money I could put into, like, upgrading a motherboard, processor, and RAM. I'm like, I could buy a new barebone system and, get much more out of it. And why? Because I'm an MMOer. Now, I'm not saying it's not nice to have a console. I enjoy, being able to sit down and whatever, but I could do that with my computer. I'm on a controller right now. If I wanted to whatever, I could do that on a PC. So I just think when they initially said their price point, and it's understandable because supply and demand. It's very understandable, why prices have risen due to inflation and due to demand, right? And then we have limitation on what? Processors. So prices are going to climb. But is it worth it in comparison to a PC now? No, absolutely not. I mean, that's the whole
Comrade, a word.
trick about it. You know, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's actually not even worth it because let's say you're a Microsoft fan, right? Most of the titles that you can get on Microsoft for playing on an Xbox, you can play on the PC. They have majority of their games, on available for, PC. And that's why I'm kind of like, I'm scratching my head like, boy, this really isn't worth it. It really isn't. So, yeah, I was looking forward to like maybe saving up and acquiring a new PS, but then I was looking at the price and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna. I don't think I'm even interested now in a PS5. I got my PS4. It's sufficient, and I can upgrade my PC. Get a couple more things, installed in PC. Maybe change out my case. Maybe get, whatever. I could do a lot more. And some of the older games don't need that processing power as much as it does like RAM and stuff. Because once again, your equipment is only as good as what the servers that the game's connecting to. So if servers are still problematic, I could have the best console in the world or the best rig in the world. That ain't going to change a lot of performance issues I'm going to have along the way. So I feel like that was something, I was like, I don't want players to have to feel like they have to abandon their account. I'm not saying to, whatever. I'm just saying take a look at it from this perspective. If you're an Advent gamer, and you're limited to PvP based on title selection, right? Because that's the problem. Why wouldn't you just upgrade to a system that caters to you? That gives you more options in titles. Now, that's up to you. Everything is subjective to every individual. But from a price point position, I'm going to honestly have to say, not worth it. It's not. It's not. Now, you can disagree, you can agree, but here's what I'm going to tell people who are looking in, because this is about MMOs. This is about Elder Scrolls. This is about what we currently are faced with versus what's being provided. If you're a console player, ask yourself, in the current state of the game you're playing, is it worth spending that amount of money to hope for a better performance? Or would you rather invest in a system that's going to, even if performance in that title isn't increased, you have more options to play more games? That's my question. At the end of the day, if you want to go ahead and you want to spend $1,600 on a PS5, have at it. If you want to go ahead and spend, anywhere from $900 to $1,200 on an Xbox, have at it. Right? It's your money. You do what you want with it. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, if anybody was to ask me right here, right now, is it worth buying a new console for gaming? My answer would be a resounding no. 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 Let it go. Let it go. That's what I would have to say. So, heads up. I just want to do commentary as I'm training, grabbing stuff, and doing all this stuff. But like I said, man, it's your money. You work hard for it. Do what you want with it. But what I'm going to tell my viewers is look at what you're getting. what you're paying for. What are you getting in return? That's what I'm asking you. You know? That's what I'm going to ask you. What are you getting in return? So, and if you do end up coming to PC, get a hold of me. You won't be alone, I promise. Many of us have came over. Of course, my account's a little older, but oh snap, my bad. Hopefully, somebody a guard don't walk over that. Anyways, do what you will, but have fun, and I wish everybody the best. You know, but I wanted to do this as PCs. Are consoles worth the price? Every individual has to answer that for themselves. But let me tell you, if the price doesn't come down, I think PC gaming is going to go skyrocketing in the next year again. PC gaming will be making, you know, its mark again. And consoles will have to take a backseat, and it's unfortunate because it's not their fault due to the circumstances. But for a smart consumer, they're going to know what they're getting for their dollar. With that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystics MMOs. Have a good one.